Hello, everyone. Susday, Soksabay, Chimipsua. Those are all three ways that we say hello in Cambodia. I'm so glad to see so many people who are here waiting and chatting before I'm live. And welcome everybody. It's so great to see you all here. And we could talk about anything. This is Ramble, time to ramble. And I know everybody has their own thing to do, and mine is just like talking about stuff, just hanging out. And so I see that Andy walked his dogs. Good, so did I. So everybody's taken care of. Remy's asleep. Tuxedo's waiting for his girlfriend. Is that what you said? Tuxedo was already outside waiting for his girlfriend and the squirrels. And Grace, nice to see you here too. So we've got Andy, Grace, and Pam, I guess, so far. I don't know. It only says there's 2 eyeballs. Somebody must have dropped out. Pam's still here. Okay, great. And so I guess I'm one in control. I need to choose something. And Grace is here. Okay. Ollie the pug is at your daughter's house. Okay, so at the babysitter, having a play day. Makes it easy. And Andy must have had to run out for a second because he was just saying hello to everybody 4 minutes ago. So I'm sure he'll be right back. I thought one thing that we could do, we could test how the Wi-Fi is tonight for me. Is I could tell you some crazy crime stories in Cambodia. We can start with that, and I'll share. I was thinking about doing a special, like maybe just as a recording, share screen, and calling it Crime Beat. Oh, maybe I should just share the entire screen. Share. What's it do if I share a window? Oh, no. Oh, Andy, you said something. Let's see. For the first time in a long time, I did not watch the State of the Union. Binge watching Discovery of Witches seemed a better use of my time. I know. I didn't watch it either. And I didn't watch the Grammys, but I did watch this guy called Donut. And I watched his video about the Grammys and all the Illuminati symbols and things like that in it. State of the Union was hilarious, better than Saturday Night Live. I know. I was debating on whether I should watch a replay of the whole thing, or watch like somebody's comments about it, just showing the best clips or something. I will say though that here, Cambodia is part of the 12-nation coalition, kind of like the European Union, the EU, that's called ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, I think is what it is. And so they just had their big summit, and every year one of the nations rotate who hosts the year of events, and that with a big summit at the end. And so it was Cambodia's year to host, and Joe Biden came to Cambodia for that summit, and oh my goodness, I was so embarrassed. I mean, I was just glad that probably everybody had interpreter headphones on and so they weren't listening to him speak English. They were listening to the interpreter, which would have had like the speech already written. And he first said, uh, he said Cambodia. I don't know if it was like thank you for Cambodia hosting. But then the second time he was supposed to say Cambodia, he said Colombia. And I was just like, no, he did not just say that. I can't believe it. So anyway, green in white fur screaming liar. It's like a football game. What? Somebody during the State of the Union screamed out liar? That that would be amazing. Oh my God, yeah, State of the Union as a comedy special. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to like either watch it or watch some parts of it. Anyway, okay, so the first screen I've got here shared is Phnom Penh citizens request action over a stinky restaurant. In the news, here's a picture of the restaurant. They're washing out their dishes to go, right there on the street down the drain. The local residents living around this restaurant have requested that authorities take action because it's affecting the environment and hygiene of the area, causing bad smells. It is here in Phnom. It gives the address in Phnom Penh. Here's a closer up picture of the lady that's washing all the dishes. Now, to be honest, this is kind of quite normal, a normal way of washing everything, but usually it's more in the countryside and not on the city street. And there's the drain that she's washing everything in. Now, they said that the citizens say that when they pour they're pouring the waste down an already blocked drain. Oh, it doesn't look so blocked here. It looks like everything went down. So the authorities are saying that they're going to take measures to educate the restaurant over proper hygiene standards, and that they think that the restaurant is owned by basically, you could say kind of like the city council. It says a member of the Sankat. Yeah, it's administration, like not the mayor. It's not the whole city. It's like a district council. And since it's owned by a member of the district council, that's what's slowing down any punitive action. So, what do you guys all think about that story? You find that interesting? The theme is State of the Union. The theme in the State of the Union was constant standing ovation, so the big guy doesn't have to talk much. Yeah, that's kind of typical, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So then let me see. That was actually the story I was going to end with. Like if I did this like crime beat series, all of these were on the 6th and the 7th. So let me share this tab instead. So there's a knife, a crack bar, place. There's the guy so you have total like little taxis that are like a wagon pulled by a motorcycle driver, and then he attacked him with that knife in Prasad province. So the police were able to arrest him. It doesn't say, I guess the man didn't die because he's not being charged with murder. No comments? Or does anyone want to come up on panel and chat about this as well? Let's see what the next one is. share this tab instead. Okay, this is story. Because remember, this is kind of, these are like things I picked out to do a crime beat video. So I'm testing it out on you guys to see if like this would be interesting or not. So in Takao is a province in Cambodia. They've arrested 4 boys for the murder of a student. And so these are 3, and there was a 17, and the like this gang of students that were 17 and 16. All of them were between 16 and 17 years old. That they were looking for somebody else, but they couldn't catch the other person. And so when they saw this victim, they decided, well, if we can't catch the other guy, we'll just catch this person. And they attacked him and slashed his neck with a knife, and then they ran away. And there's a total of 6, so they're still looking for 2 other suspects. That happened. The restaurant business health standards, huge public safety responsibility. Yeah, and they tried to start this thing with like letter A, letter B, letter C. So if you're really clean, I think you got letter A, and if you're only kind of clean, you got letter B. But I don't think there's anybody like, gosh, in years, I don't think they've continued doing that. So anyway, people can pretty much just start up anything, which is like one of my thoughts of opinions about how Cambodia actually has more freedoms than America sometimes. Because in America, if you want to sell food, even like street food, you've got to get all kinds of permits and health inspections and everything. It costs a lot of money to start up a business, right? Even if you're just a street vendor, you still have to get some kind of maybe a lower cost license than a full-blown business license for operating a regular business. And so here, like, people can go down to the river and they'll get snails, like little, I think they're calling them cockle shells or something, but they're just these little shells, and people just suck whatever's in it out. I think they're boiled, but anyway, you just go down the river, scoop up these shell things, and boil them, add some spices, and then you walk around with a cart with them spread out on the cart, and you have like this old tin can that, like, you sell them by, you scoop them up. They do the same thing with peanuts. Just scoop up a can and then put it in a plastic bag, and that's your portion. They don't weigh it or anything. They just use it like a soup can, a tin can, and they don't have to pay anybody for anything. They just make their little cart and just sell it. Slasher and violence in live news and in TV film gangster response seems to be teaching youth. Yes, absolutely. I think that they do see so much. I mean, video games, even music videos, YouTube videos, Facebook videos, TikTok videos, seeing all the gangsta culture, I think definitely can do that. And some people that like run NGOs, charities, might say it's because of the Khmer Rouge time or whatever, that they lived through the war and people killed everybody, and then so that human life's not worth much and it's easy to kill people. No. I think you're right. I think definitely there's social media influence on that, and on rape as well. I think, as I know that in Western cultures, we think of rape as something that is really more of a power issue than a sex issue. Um, but I think you do have when you've got a situation of 13, 14-year old young, boy. They're still a boy. They're not even a young man really yet, and just barely reaching puberty. And there's some girl that's like, 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, that's walking a cow or walking home from school or something like this, and they pull her off into the bushes and rape her. I'm sorry, I don't buy into the whole it's a power issue. I think they were watching pornography on their phones and they got the idea, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. And so they see a young girl and they take the opportunity to try out what they saw on the videos. And then a lot of times that young girl ends up being strangled because they don't want her screaming, so they'll hold her neck and they end up strangling her. There weren't any news stories about that, but that happens enough too. All right. I think another one. Let me see. And if you guys are like, it's like, oh, I don't want to hear about all this stuff, I don't want to hear about crime, then please just say so say what you do want to talk about. We'll talk about something different. So to share this, in this one, 2 journalists were arrested and sent to court for extortion. This happens a lot, and this bothers me in that a lot of times, again, the NGO people will say, oh, there's no freedom of press. It's like, no, there's a lot of freedom of press, actually. And before, like, a journalist might get killed, right? Because they would be doing extortion like this. These guys are lucky they were just arrested and not killed. Let's see what I didn't actually read government officials and that's a long story. So what happens usually, though, in this case is that the journalists will go, let's say there's someone who's doing illegal logging, and they will go to that person and say, if you give me money, I won't do a story, right? And then that person's like big and powerful, and so they just kill them, which, okay, that's not right either, right? But they weren't killed in the name of journalism. They weren't killed because they printed a story about somebody. They were killed because they were extortionists who happened to be using journalism to do their extortion. So Grace says, a lot of psychological problems in juveniles, but no help for it. Is so true. And Andy Garcia, so how sex oppressed are people that rape is an expression of power? In the Western countries? Yeah, or in any countries, I guess, yeah. But I mean, that's kind of what all the professionals say about rape in Western countries, is that it's never about sex, that it's only about power. And I think sometimes it is about sex and opportunity, everywhere today. Yeah. And I think you do have those situations like you have people that are exerting power, using a rape to exert power over someone. Absolutely, that does happen. So let's see what's next. Two people were arrested for their connection to a month-long murder mystery. For the picture, effects in a month-long murder investigation in Phnom Penh. Was carried out by the National Police. Yeah, they were 38 and 30 years old. The man was 38. His wife was 30. Um, this story, I guess that I should have looked up the earlier version of this, like when the murder first happened, because it just says he murdered the victim out of jealousy. So there's no details on that. It's no fun if there's no details. I used to be a sub editor for this newspaper, and the crime stories were the best to get all these like really, really weird details of things that had happened. So if this man murdered someone out of jealousy, then he was probably jealous that his wife was seeing someone else, whether she was or not, but he thought she was at least. Definitely sex power seems to be a part of it, but yeah, sexual predation. Yeah, there's both that happen, unfortunately, in this world. Yeah. It's just sad. You got to protect people. I know some people thought I'd have been considered a helicopter parent, in the late 80s and early 90s, when I was raising my kids. Because yeah, I had 3 kids. If we were at the park, I was like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, constantly. That I had to have a visual on them. I couldn't just relax and let them play. I wanted them to play and not be scared or anything. So yeah, I would let them play. Hello, Chalet. Good morning. But oops. Okay. I had a tab on. Anyway. Okay. So good morning, Chalet. We were just going over some crime stories. Let me put the invite link again in case anybody wants to come up. If you want to come up, we can actually talk about anything. Chalet. That's right. Andy's got it. So meanwhile, all right, this one, it can be dangerous sometimes. Sometimes the simplest thing can be a dangerous job. There was a musician that was shot and injured, not killed, thankfully, due to unknown reasons. So he was playing in her garden. Those are very typical. So you've got beer and food. This was in Stung Trang. Police were patrolling in the area, were able to arrest the suspects who had entered the crowd of the venue. And then they confiscated pistols from a group of 4 young people. And they're looking for more people involved as well. These are the guys that they arrested right here. So they went, everybody's drinking, having dinner, having a good time. And wait, did it not? Oh, did I not share? Oh, whoops. Share this tab instead. I'm sorry. Oh, there, I'm back. I was just going to write that I might not enough Wi-Fi to do this. Yeah, I might have to get an upgrade on my Wi-Fi. So let's see here. So chicken men busted. That's a stupid headline. So some men were doing cockfighting and were arrested. But it's still loading the picture. Come on, where's the picture? Load Grace and Pam. There it is. So cockfighting is illegal in Cambodia. Confiscated, I don't know, like 40 roosters or something. Yeah. So anyway, I think the speed's not enough to do that, so I won't share anymore. But if I want to do a show called Crime Beat Cambodia, then and show all these weird stories, I'll definitely need to get an upgrade on my Wi-Fi so that it doesn't slow down when I share the screen. But anyway, what's going on? What's up with everybody? Did everyone have a good weekend? I went to the dentist yesterday. On this side, I had a tooth that had a metal crown on it, and but that metal crown had like worn and had like a little hole. I could feel it like with a toothpick, you know. And so I wanted to get it like fixed. I don't know, 6 months, 8 months ago, something a really long time ago, and I just wasn't able to get in. And so I went yesterday. My grandfather was a big name in game bird. Really? Is game bird, you mean like the cockfighting? Or like pheasants and stuff like that? How's my son? Okay. So I think he's better, but I'm not sure. He definitely was getting better like around Christmas. And he's still going to the recovery, like, so there's once a week recovery meetings. That's with the Christian recovery group, and I go as well. Even though it's really kind of interesting because everyone's kind of like, "Hi, my name is this," and I'm instead of saying I'm a recovering alcoholic or whatever, it's all about hurts, hang-ups, and something. They got 3 H words that, like, so it's like dealing with issues, any issues, right? But it kind of follows the 12 steps, only they've also got like Bible verses that go with it, and we sing praise songs in the beginning and stuff. So the guy that runs it was really reaching out to help James, set him up with a place to stay, which was with somebody else that was also in recovery. And things seemed to be going good. Gave him an opportunity to use his carpentry skills and make an Adirondack chair, but James was kind of lazy about it and still kind of, he didn't do a good job with it. He got one, it was supposed to be 2 chairs. He got 1 chair done. It wasn't done well. And then things just weren't working out. I mean, because there's a certain amount of confidentiality, right? So things just weren't working out where he was living. And so he had to leave. And that was in January. And so then when my mom arrived and we all had lunch, he was actually looking really, really good. And then by the end of then we had like lunch and a dinner later on. She was here for like 10, 11 days. And so midway we had lunch, and then at the end we had dinner all together. And he didn't seem like he didn't look like he was doing as well. But he did get another job with someone to build a bookcase. Haven't heard from Mabel. I saw her at the very end of Pam's chat that she did about 4 hours ago. Right at the end, she came in and said, "Oh, love everybody," or whatever. Right. So I don't know how long she had been watching, but she only commented at least at the very end. Um, so yeah, but otherwise, I don't know why she's not here. She always says she never gets the notifications, right? Maybe she's busy doing something and she's not on YouTube right now. I don't know, but miss her. But she's alive. She I did see her. Um, so yeah, he did. He got so he someone wanted him to build a bookcase, and I was like really encouraging him. Hey, you have got to do your absolute best on this, because what he had said about the chairs was that, well, if I would have known he was going to recommend me for a job after this, I would have done a better job on the chairs. I didn't know that something else was dependent on how well I did the chairs. I'm like, well, James, you got to live life, the best you can. You always got to do your best job for your own reputation and for your own character, And so it was like I'm like, James, with these bookcases, you really got to do a good job, because you don't know what's going to come after it. You have to do your best. And so I guess he just finished them today, but I haven't heard if he delivered them and what she thought of them or anything. Chalet says she doesn't get notifications till it's all over. Andy, Grandpa had training facilities and was a breeder, breed selection tours to Louisiana and Georgia for the best stock, pretty much all over by late 70s. All breed stock shipped to El Salvador and Guatemala. Wow. I mean, I'm not really all that. I raised chickens, and I mean, for a while I had chickens, and I loved having chickens. But I can't imagine even dog fighting, cockfighting, anything where you're making animals like pretty much have to kill the other one. I don't. There were bloodless bullfights in California in the Portuguese community, and so there was no harm to the bulls. They would put a blanket over the bull, so then the caballeros would because they would have like international from Brazil, from Spain, from Portugal, from other Central and South American countries. These bullfighters and caballeros would come for the bullfighting, and so the caballeros, they have like these spears, right, that they would normally spear into a bull. You're basically bleeding it out so that it doesn't have its full strength when the matador comes out. But here they just hook into the blanket. They don't go into the bull, and they just run them. Then you got the people that hold onto its tail in a big long line, and they get spun around and stuff. You just kind of tire out the bull, and then when the matador would come out, I have to say it was just stunning. It was like, I mean, if you ever go to a ballet and see the Nutcracker or something, and it's so graceful and it's just mesmerizing, and that's the way matadors are. There's this grace that they have when they're facing down this bull, and their moves, and they step this way or step that way, or they spin or whatever, and it's just, I found it actually, I loved it because it was bloodless. If they were actually killing that bull, I might have a different opinion of it. Chalet, yes, take pride in your work, whatever it is, because God sees exactly. And but even so, I mean, that your grandpa having breeding, that's quite a skill to do that, and to be recognized for it. Yeah, blood sport, bittersweet. It was a different time era. Yeah, I know, huh? Yeah, it's a different time. So I mean, the bullfighting, you can do that in a bloodless way, like I described, but I don't know, I think the dog fighting and the cockfighting, well, because it's two animals against each other, right? And well, even in Roman times, in the big Colosseums, they had lions or tigers against bears and things as well. Can't handle the animal abuse though. Exactly. I can't see. I can't see enjoying any anything killing something else, enjoying it. Just doesn't seem right in the world. So hopefully, yeah, things can progress. We can progress past that. No way, Jose. Can't watch that. Yeah. I agree. I have some lemon. I don't know if you can see the yellow in there. It's a lemon. Lemons are hard to find. Limes are everywhere. The food chain, yeah, naturally, for sure. I used to get my cat Snowball. She used to. I lived in an area like where I had the chickens and everything. She could go out and hunt mice and hunt birds and everything. And then I moved to Los Angeles and I brought her with me, and so she had to be an indoor cat. So I would go to the pet store where they sold mouse feeder mice for people with snakes, and I'd buy her feeder mice, and I'd put her in the bathtub that had the glass doors, and so I'd put her in there, I'd put the mouse in there, I'd close the door, I'd let her play with it and everything, and when she was done, she'd meow, and I'd come open the door, and there's like not even a drop of blood. There was like that mouse was gone. She ate the whole thing. So yeah, there is. Oh gosh, there's a lot of comments here because that was food chain. Haven't seen that one yet. Watching the Murdaugh trial, this whole hunting obsession is so awful. I've seen recommendations about that. I have no idea what the Murdaugh. I guess maybe I at least need to look and see what it's about. Infusion. That's one I really don't know that well. I mean, it's the only line I know from it. LOL. Lots of hearts. Yay, Pam. Sing, dang, or sung. Did I miss something? You know what I mean. Did I miss something, Chalet? I don't know what you mean. What about the mother that killed her kids? So sad. I think I saw something about that too. I mean, there's been a lot of different cases that have been headlines in my recommendations that it's like, just can't have another case right now. No, you were just chatting. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. You guys know what you were talking about. That's fine. We can all ramble. You guys can ramble while I'm rambling. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So, my dogs caught a bat the other night, and then today this evening, they were barking and barking, and I went outside to see what they were barking at, and there was a bat hanging upside down in my tree, and they were just going crazy for it. I'm like, leave it alone, come on, trying to get it away from barking under the tree. It was like stretching out its little wings a little bit, and then once I got them to stop barking at it, it was like all closed up like a cocoon, hanging there upside down. I said, yeah, it needs a nap, Oh, blaming on postpartum. And she killed her kids. Juveniles are being desensitized. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know that I tried to protect my kids from being desensitized, and now things are just even so much more violence and sex and everything. Hey, what about all those satanic rituals at the Grammys? I didn't watch it, of course, but I saw. I didn't watch it, of course, but I saw. I know what you mean. So I watched a video by this guy named Donut, who pronounces it donut like that, and he does a lot of Illuminati stuff. And so yeah, I saw lots of clips. Well, not just photos; they were still photos. He didn't have any like moving clips, but he was talking about like they were really lifting up Beyonce, giving her the number 32. Of course, we know the 33 level of Masons, but 32 is also significant. And so her awards have totaled 32. Yeah, and I mean, like the eye symbolism, there were people that were there was a lot of circles. Like when you're casting a spell, like a witch is casting a spell and draws a circle around themselves. And there was like circles, there were like robes, there were red devil stuff, there was all kinds of things. I would have never sat in that audience. Hell no. Yeah. And then apparently there was some kind of thing set up outside as well that was like a big feast table. A lot of rappers were sitting at it, and they were using purple lights, and he was talking about there's all the purple light symbolism, and I don't know what the purple light symbolism is. He didn't actually explain that. Upside down cross, 666. Yeah. And Madonna. I know she was supposed to be there, and then like Biden's wife was there as well. And The Rock, I mean, I don't know. There were like some things about like, oh, maybe The Rock will try running for president again, you know. But I don't think he actually announced anything like that at it. I didn't see Madonna. I'm trying to remember like pictures. I don't think he showed any pictures of Madonna. Maybe it was too graphic. I remember she was like, I don't know, a Super Bowl. Was it a Super Bowl halftime or something she did years ago that was just, oh, so symbolic. All of these. Even in London when they were doing the Olympics, was it? Or something they were doing. They had a big thing, and that was just, oh, I'm telling you, believe in Jesus, the devil does and shudders. Why do you think they mock? Other religions can do what they want, but not when it's Jesus. That's true. That's true. They'll protect the rights of other religions, you know, but when it's Christians, it's like they can't be aggressive enough. It's like anything you can do to shut down Christians. But oh, and Jill Biden kisses Kamala's husband on the lips at Sotu. Weird. Oh, really? At the State of the Union address? I'm sure you mean Kamala. Yeah, that's weird. But apparently there's some kind of Illuminati kiss thing. So it could be related to that. Saw that clip, Grace, she's sick. Yeah, Grace, I noticed that. Sick. Oof. And she looks so worried. Oh, like maybe she was supposed to do it, but she not be on the screen, or like she didn't expect the camera to be on her at that moment or something. Or was it like he kissed her and that's why she looked worried? Kamala's husband. I don't think I've ever seen a picture. Have you heard her ex-husband story? I have not. Do you want to come up and tell us about it, or do you want to like type it? Their whole love story is a lie. Nervous about Joe's speech. They have to do everything in plain sight. It's part of the ritual. Yeah, and like humiliation rituals, the black eye ritual, the one eye ritual. She always looks terrified before he speaks. Yeah, because you never know what he's going to say. You know, sitting in Cambodia next to the prime minister and saying Colombia. Oh, couldn't believe I heard that. I'm sick and snot is flying. LOL. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I'm not her. Her soul is black and she has so many secrets. I bet. I could just see a coven of her and Hillary Clinton and Martha Stewart. I don't know. Would they let Nancy Pelosi be in theirs? Maybe Dianne Feinstein. Who else would be of that generation? It's a train wreck. Yeah. Chalet found blowing the nose emojis. Hey, Andy, what happened? I haven't seen Andy in a while. Maybe I should do a State of the Union thing. Did anybody catch, obviously, I don't think anybody was in the live, but did anybody watch the replay of when I went over Drip Drop's video? So, because Drip Drop had done like a 9 o'clock premiere, and so I wanted to see that, and I took notes as I was watching it. So when it was over, then I did my live, and I just went over all my thoughts of what he said in his. I'm just wondering if anybody watched that replay, if that's like a good thing to do, because it was interesting for me to do it that way. And there's definitely a lot of things that I've already had thoughts on the Idaho 4 case, and so by talking about what he said in his video, it gave me a chance to like, oh yeah, and then tell my thoughts on this or tell my thoughts on that. So anyway, my son, I think he's on a path. It appears getting better, but it's kind of like you don't usually change overnight. You know, it takes time. It takes time once you make a commitment to improving your life, and you've got a lot of areas that need improvement. You can't just fix everything all at once. It takes time. So hopefully we'll see some progress. And so anyway, with the dentist, right now my tooth and my jaw's feeling okay, but even right before I started, my jaw is like hurt. Oh my gosh, I've been to dentists all my life. Luckily, I still have all my teeth. And comments were frozen. Had to erase the last comment and go out of chat and change the subject. Maybe, I don't know. Andy, I don't know that. I mean, I know so many creators. It's like, oh, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. They're YouTube's messing with us and everything. I don't know. It's a possibility, but I don't know. I think maybe there was just something with your connection. Yeah, I saw Drip Drop. Big stuff on Idaho 4 from Dr. Thrifty. Yeah, he did a second premiere. So the one I did was his number 6 on Brian, the suspect. And then he just did another one, but it looked, when I looked at the description, it looked like it was all just a recap of everything. So I didn't watch that latest. Oh, and the latest one was in the Crime Circus cult. And the one I did was in his normal Crime Circus channel. So what happened with Dr. Thrifty? Who's Dr. Thrifty? Actually, I'm not familiar with Dr. Thrifty. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place Dr. Thrifty. Okay, so the dentist, while I'm waiting, whenever I have to wait for comments, I'll go back to the dentist. So I've had a lot of work done in the past. And so I know a lot, good dentists and bad dentists and everything. And so this dentist that I have was trained by a German guy that was here in Cambodia, and he taught dentistry, and he had his own practice. And so and that's when I started going to him, and he's an amazing dentist. like the best dentist in my life ever. And so then I found, and then he retired. And so then I found this Cambodian dentist that was trained by Wolfgang, the German dentist. And and so he's awesome. Didn't have any problems. Well, then he tells me, my appointment yesterday, I get there and they're like, okay, but you're going to need to see a dentist under him. I'm like, okay. So it's a young dentist and everything. And I mean, yeah, you gotta have practice and stuff. And so I don't know if it's just a tricky thing going on with my tooth, but I have never been in so much pain in my life. And so they took the crown off, and there's an whatever. I think it's the metal fillings, right? That are that stuff, whatever. And so there's filling and there's decay. So he was wanting to get all that out, put like a new, he had to clean out the decay and like get out the old filling and put in a new filling and then put on a new crown. That was the plan. And he gave me like one dose of Novocaine, but I think he put it in different a couple different places. And it still hurt, especially inside when he was like going in a certain area inside. There was so much pain. And I ended up having to, then he gave me more Novocaine and it didn't change a thing. And so I had to make him stop. I said, you no more, I can't do this, and so he said, well, this means I'm going to need to have an actual root canal. Like, okay, yeah, whatever. I thought I'd already had a root canal because I'd had this hole for more than 6 months in my crown, and I knew that there'd be decay going on. And if I still had a root in there, the nerve, then I thought I'd be feeling pain. I'd have a toothache. And I had no pain at all with the hole in the crown. And so anyway, I'm supposed to go in on Monday but I think I'm going to talk to the head guy that I know was under Wolfgang and say, look, I want you to like look at the x-rays or whatever and make sure that this is the right thing that needs to be done, because I don't know, I'm not comfortable with what's happening. Dr. Thrifty is an investigator. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up, Grace. I have no idea, but I'll card him being an investigator, such as Molly Golightly, where YouTube is on autoplay. So Andy saw a gematria layout of Idaho 4, many number 74, breaks down to 666 somehow, concludes it was a sacrifice by the numbers. Not sure if that's the case here. Yeah, there's some people that, like in the beginning, before they caught Brian, were talking about that there is a satanic church. And I don't remember it kind of has a Christian name, but it's really like a satanic church, apparently. I don't know, and that like maybe they were involved. So maybe they were involved. Maybe Brian was involved. That one doesn't have to exclude the other. You'd be surprised what a racket dentistry can be, for sure. I just had a procedure done, went to another dentist, and they tried to give me the same one. No way. It was like, nice try there. Yeah. Yes, Andy, seems like. Yeah, definitely. And see, we don't know the evidence and what the crime scene looked like. There could have been some satanic things, evidence, right? But we wouldn't know about it. And most of the time, especially in the US, any cases that do have anything satanic in them, they totally brush it under. It won't be in the news. They totally hide that and make it was just a murder or whatever, and not and anything that looks sacrificial, they totally eliminate any information about that. Dr. Thrifty is linking up with the cult and Enan Harsh as well involved. Yes. Now, Enan Harsh, not Harsh Reality. Enan Harsh was one of the neighbors, I believe. Okay. Yeah, I think there could have been people that knew what was going to happen or something. It really just means this whole 8 hours until the 911 call. That's getting talked about a lot, but I mean, from day one, it was like something's fishy. Something's fishy about that, And so it's just weird. And I have to say, I don't really care for Dylan's look, or they were all beautiful. All the women were beautiful, but they did look like a group of mean girls. If anybody was going to be mean girls, they kind of looked very clique-ish. I'm not saying they were. I mean, there have been some like sorority bullying, hazing kind of comments. She's the huge elephant in the room. Absolutely. Huge elephant in the room. And maybe the reason we never hear anything about Bethany is because she really slept. She really didn't know anything. But whenever Bethany woke up, she had to, I mean, there's no way you could not smell the blood. And now, and I was wondering in the very beginning, okay, were the doors locked? And even though I was like, there's no way whoever the killer was would have changed clothes like in one room to go to the other room and not leave any blood trail going to the second room. There's no way changes of clothes or the time for that, right? So therefore there would have to be blood going from one room to the other, which of course would show which room was, who was first, right? Which we don't have that evidence, even though the police are now saying, I believe they confirmed that Kaylee and Maddie were killed first. Certainly the assumption, if it wasn't actually said. The smell of blood would be throughout, and now they're saying that in the affidavit, the officer, because Harsh Reality read part of the actual affidavit, not the news saying that this is what one of the officers said, but the actual affidavit said that as the officer came up the stairs and looked toward the Xana's room, he could see Xana through the door. He could see her. And then as he got closer, then he saw Ethan. Right? So the door was open. Bethany who? LOL. Does blood really smell? Eek. Yeah. Killer's Sister was a slasher film, I think, similar too. Oh, yeah. I think there's been tons of sorority type slasher films. Bye, love. See you next time. Gotta run. Okay. Take care of the fur babies, Pam. See you later. Thanks for joining. Yeah. It's weird. And really, it's kind of like they say it has a strong iron smell. Yes, iron or copper, but a metallic, definitely metallic. I think it's because of the iron, but sometimes, like a penny. And bye, Muse. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Hugs and kisses from everybody. Yeah. So that I kind of feel like what people are going to every day come up with something to talk about the Idaho 4 until June. I mean, so really, I'm not even watching most of what I see, right? I mean, over the last couple of days, um, unless it's like there is something. Oh, you know what just came out today was the picture of Gabby Petito. Now, see, that's something new. Like, okay, don't talk about Gabby Petito every day, or the what the parents are doing with lawsuits here or there until there's something new. Here's something new. The picture that she took a selfie before law enforcement pulled them over. So, yeah, not good. Has Fe and Fo irons. Okay. Ferris something, right? The F is for Ferris. Doesn't the Lori Vallow trial start soon? I'm not sure when, but that would be interesting if it's live, if they actually show it. Some channels just talk small talk stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that picture. Those police should be sued. Well, she is suing them. That's where it's from. I mean, this is from the lawsuit that the parents are suing them. Yeah, that they were going to arrest her. And even the whole, I mean, it's just, I lived in Utah. And seeing those cops and everything, it was, the picture was so sad. You have eclectic taste in your YouTube channels. Yeah. I watched this one guy called Don's Family Vacations or whatever, and he does like a lot of cruises. I have no intention of ever going on a cruise. I don't like being on water, and but he's just kind of fun to watch. I think I stumbled across him because my mom was going to go on a cruise or something, and so I found information about him, and I watched one of his videos, and then he like came up. So now he's just kind of fun to watch. Oh my gosh, I was yelling at my screen and at creators that said they should have arrested her. Creators that said they should have arrested. Oh yeah, I would have been. I don't remember creators saying that they should have arrested her. Oh yeah, I would have been pretty outraged. Dear Lord, she didn't have a chance with those good old boys. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just feel for her really because, I've been in domestic violence and I know how hard it is to leave. It's kind of like when she was in Salt Lake City and he went back to Florida. If she really did have this friend that she was supposed to meet in Wyoming or something and then go to California with or whatever, she should have called that friend and said, hey, look, come and get me now or whatever. When she made it to Salt Lake City and was there by herself, she had that chance. But you make all kinds of excuses that you think it's never going to happen again. You think they can change. You think this, that, whatever. You think you can't make it on your own. So I'm certainly not going to blame her for staying. And it sounds like she didn't have the support about what was happening. I think she was trying to create this van life image and create that channel. And it was all about them having that adventure together. And I think she didn't want to let that go. I think she was very attached to that because I was attached to the idea of having a 50th wedding anniversary. One of the many rationalizing that I did was that, well, if I get divorced, then if I marry someone else, we're not going to live long enough to have a 50th wedding anniversary. So I have to stay with him so that I can live long enough to have a 50th wedding anniversary. I mean, so I could very easily see her thinking, well, I've got this YouTube channel. I've got all these followers now. It's really building momentum, and I don't want to let these people down. That's a huge pressure. Speaking of the good old boys, the Murdaugh trial. I'm gonna have to see what's going on with that because I have no idea. And that I've seen plenty of videos talking about it, but I haven't watched any of them. He killed his wife and daughter. Supposedly, he's being charged with that. I got smart. I did, but it took. I even went to like not counseling, but like a support group for victims. But I was still married at the time, and I'd go every week to this support group, and but I wasn't at that place to leave yet. One of the things that like really shook me up, and I think it wasn't long after that I finally got the courage to leave, is that, well, I got the house, but he physically left. But we decided to get to even bring up the subject about we need to talk about divorce, and then it was just like, whoo, weight lifted. We both wanted the divorce, right? But both of us were afraid to say anything. So I was lucky in that because that's the most dangerous time, right? But the thing that hit me was the O.J. Simpson trial, because in all the pre-trial evidence that was happening, they were talking about all these signs of domestic violence, right? Like she had a safety deposit box that had pictures in it, and she had this and she had that were all signs. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am right now living everything she had been doing. This leaving a trail, having important papers in your purse. So if you have to leave at a moment's notice, you don't have to go back and get anything, stuff like, it's doing all that. Circle of abuse, we know it, but we still think we can change it until it becomes survival. Yeah. And it was too late for her, just sad thinking about that. And I just wonder how for me, in that case, it's like, how premeditated was it? Did he really just accidentally do it in a rage? Because obviously he had rage issues, right? So did he just get in a rage and then just go too far? Or did he even like drive to Wyoming and park where they did on purpose, because he knew that was an area that, or he thought anyway, that it was an area that he could leave her body and it wouldn't be found right away? Was it that premeditated? And what's the real reason he went back to Florida on that? Why did he fly back to Florida for the storage unit? I don't buy that for a minute. And I believe the dates of that trip and hiring the lawyer, what's his name? Steve Bertoloni, whatever, that I think those dates line up. And so why did they hire the lawyer? Or did they, was it when he was like the night he was driving home, that he started driving back after he'd killed her? Or, he was still in the area for like a couple of days, like setting up an alibi, right? Changing the subject. That one song I sang, All That She Wants Is Another Baby. In America, we don't say we are catching a tan. Who says we are catching a tan? I've never said catching a tan. Oh, I'm guessing that was in some of the lyrics of that song. Yeah. All that she wants is another baby. Da, 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 da. For anybody who doesn't know what song you're talking about. And so they said, they must have said catching a tan in the song. Yeah, we don't say that. When we say getting a tan, I'm getting a tan. Yeah. not catching a tan. Well, he was really into those murderous drawings. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, he was. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yes, the reading the books about like real murderous serial killer type stuff, and songs from another country. I didn't realize it was from another country. Even the music he was listening to, his playlists and stuff, had real murderous, weird kind of music as well, and his drawings. Yeah, I think he was just waiting for an opportunity. Really, you know. And I have to wonder about Crystal and Kaylin, some whatever, lying on the beach and catching a tan. Catching a tan. I don't think I've ever said catching a tan. Getting a tan. I think we just say getting a tan. But yeah, I really have. I mean, with the time, with the timing of their movements and everything, it would just really make a lot of sense if Brian had killed them. We know he did have a gun with him, right? I mean, there had been photos of him with the gun in the van. I believe. Was it the same caliber? I don't remember. And I know that there's one guy that they said did it, and there's plenty of circumstantial stuff for him as well. And he's dead, so nobody can prove anything. It's really easy to pin something on somebody who's dead, but it could be true. It could be the guy that he did it. But I don't know. I haven't, put it this way, I haven't seen anything that would eliminate Brian or absolutely prove that the other guy did it. So therefore, it's still kind of open in my mind whether or not Brian might have, because it just makes sense with the timing that he went back to Florida right after that. And it took them like 3 or 4 days, 5 days or something before they got up to Salt Lake City. I mean, that's a half a day. Okay, I lived in Utah. That's a half a day drive. So why did it take them 3 or 4 days? Where were they during that time? If I was the FBI, I'd have phone pings, from the day that law enforcement was involved, from that day until her death. I would be having those phone pings and see exactly where they were. And then, okay, if they did, it'd be nice to know that, okay, no, they were in Salt Lake City early, A lot of investigators don't believe it's the one they pinned it on. Yeah. There's nothing to like 100% say it was him. And there's nothing 100% to say it wasn't Brian. Brian Laundrie, So I have to wonder. And is that what the trip back to Florida was about? I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever know. So I guess there's not much reason to talk about it. But those parents are so complicit, right? Complicit in everything. And like, when did she write that letter with the envelope and that said, burn this after reading it? Was that before he went hiking? Before he disappeared and went hiking? Or was that like when he was in Florida and then went back? Because that would be if she was talking about a shovel in something she wrote to him when he flew back to Salt Lake City, that would be really bad. The trip back to Florida is really weird. Exactly. There's something about that trip. Was he just freaked out because he almost got busted by those police? And I'm not buying the storage. The storage unit thing does not. No, the store that there's, unless there was something criminal in that storage. What if there was another body in that storage unit that he'd already killed somebody else or something? I don't. Then you would have to go back so that nobody else sees it, right? You can't let somebody else move your boxes for you, right? Most of the time, what's in a storage unit is already in boxes. And if you needed to change the storage unit or get the things out of storage, you could have your dad and your buddies, or your what his sister was married, right? He had a brother-in-law. His dad and his brother-in-law could have moved the boxes out into his dad's garage, right? He didn't need to fly all the expense of flying home. So I'm not buying the storage unit thing at all. Sick mom, absolutely, absolutely sick. I mean, there's one stage of being in denial about your kid, right? And just being in denial about the monster that they are. Yeah, you know it. You don't want, maybe it's, you're a narcissist yourself and you don't want your reputation. You don't want people to find out that your son's a monster for your own reputation. Or maybe, it's just like you hope it'll go away. You see these tendencies, but you hope that they'll manage it and it'll go away or whatever. But she was very proactive in that. And driving, your son pulls up in his girlfriend's van, not even his own van, in her van without her. And you expect people to believe you didn't know anything? Of course they knew. And then and so then you just cold shoulder her parents? No excuse. No excuse at all. No excuse, sorry. I don't care what you say. No excuse. So what else? Anything? All the chmas. Oh, chma is cat in Khmer. All the cats are sleeping. They're so quiet. It's so nice. Got to get my 2 silver kittens to the vet for spay back later. Ah, okay. Yeah, get that done. Get that done. Don't need any more babies. 2's enough. I finally got all mine done. Oh my goodness. I don't know how long we'll be on. I'm awake. I'm fine. It's up to you guys. If we have enough to ramble about, we keep going. Maybe we'll still be here when you get back, Andy. Just caught the shy one. Now she's full of purrs. Oh, she doesn't know what's coming. But she'll be better for it after. She'll thank you later. She'll thank you later. If you got the shy one, then that should be half the battle right there, huh? Should be easier to catch the other one. Mango's been really slowing down a lot. His age is showing. He's getting really slow. I'm going to be sipping on some Theraflu, so I won't last too much longer, or I might get delirious. For sure. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just past an hour now, so we don't have to go all night or all day. But that's nice. Is that like a lemon flavor or an orange flavor, like a citrus flavor? The Theraflu. So Grace and Andy are both in California, and Chalet's in Florida. So we got coast to coast going on. So it's 10:30 in the morning, Florida. 10, 9, 8, 7, 7:30. Oh, it's still early for you guys in California. The nighttime one. Ah, good. Good. So, oh, my mom bought me a bottle of Pepto-Bismol, which you can't find out here. Oh, well, I think when we were shopping, there's a place like Costco called Macro, and they actually had some Pepto-Bismol, because I think she forgot to bring me some. I'm like, you didn't bring me some Pepto-Bismol, because it's good to have on hand. Uh, I love the way Pepto-Bismol tastes myself. I know a lot of people can't stand it. I love it. So if I have an upset stomach or something, that's my go-to. Have a spoonful of Pepto-Bismol and everything's right again. And so she bought me a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. So I was like, I got so many goodies. Did you guys see my unboxing? It was like, full disclosure, this is a reenactment. Because she used to send me boxes, right? And then when COVID hit, then they weren't doing shipping of boxes anymore, and now they're shipping of boxes again. But I think it's still a lot more costly. It was like $50 for the shipping for her to send a box, and but she just liked to do it, and I loved getting the care packages. And she would send me all kinds of things that I couldn't get here, or that were too expensive here. Like, you can get nuts, you can get pecans and things like this. They got the Pepto candy, so the little tablet one, the chewables, yeah. But I find that's not as good as the spoon. Just swallowing it down, having it coat everything. I was thinking about you when your mom left. I know. She says she's never going to come again, that this was her last trip. And if I want to see her, I have to go there to the U.S. She knows I'm not going to go to the U.S. So, I just ignored any thoughts of this might be the last time I'm seeing my mom. I'm still not thinking about that. And at least we still Skype and everything. She uses Skype, so we Skype. Saw your mom video on the way to the airport. Yeah. Pepto is good. Yes, it is. Voss checks fire suppression drops from fixed wing aircraft, looks and feels like Pepto-Bismol. And it feels like Pepto-Bismol? So you feel this fire suppression stuff that they drop? Interesting. Yeah, don't you think about that stuff exactly. Just not going to think about it. Why don't I want to visit the U.S.? Okay, that's a fair enough question. The honest reason is I just don't want to take any chance of being stuck there. Like, if I knew 100% that I could go visit and come back with no problem, I would go. Okay, there's not anything I have against the U.S. in that way, right? I would love to see the redwoods, eat In-N-Out burgers. Those are my two things. But I just don't ever want to get stuck there. Like, if the shit hit the fan, right, kind of thing, an EMP thing, and everything's, airplanes are grounded, a terrorist attack somewhere in the world, that COVID happened. COVID was a total vindication of that. I mean, things are kind of back to normal now, but everything got shut down for a while, right? And then you couldn't get back on a plane unless you were vaccinated. And even now, I think most of the time flying requires having your vaccination card. but I do have a medical, and I have it issued from a hospital, a medical exemption. Um, but okay, so on one hand, something could happen that planes aren't flying and I'm stuck. On a second, on the second way is if for some reason they didn't let me back into Cambodia for something, because I'm not vaccinated or this or that or whatever, you know, which I have every legal right to be because I've got the medical exemption. But the rules keep changing, right? So a rule could change and I could be stuck, right? As long as I'm here in country in Cambodia, then I'm not going anywhere, right? I love it here. I'm productive. I don't cause any problems, so everything's fine. Chalet. Okay, so let me go back up. Wait. Why don't I want to visit the U.S. When I'm sick? I just use Pepto in a straw, and then Grace doesn't blame me. And then Chalet says, and I'm like, we don't want to be stuck in Cambodia. Yeah, fair enough. Uh, Annie says, yeah, it gets everywhere, has a chalky, thick texture. We don't try to taste it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to try and taste that stuff either that's coming out of the airplanes, no matter how much it looks like Pepto-Bismol. Screw that, even after all the science has come out. Yeah, that's true. But they keep changing the rules. So what can you do? Just live your life, don't be afraid. But that's the reason why I don't want to I don't want to fly anywhere right now, because I quite frankly, I don't want to get stuck anywhere and then not be able to come back to Cambodia, because I love living in Cambodia. I love my life here. Got my job interview tomorrow, guys. Pray for me. Let's see, it's 10:30 p.m. right now, right? Which means like Eastern time is 10:30 a.m. right now. So it's at 10 a.m. for me tomorrow, which means it'll be your 10 p.m. Okay, because you're in your morning. So at 10 p.m., if you're awake on the East Coast, pray for me in my job interview. Whatever God's will be. All right. And then 10, 9, 8, 7. Right. So 7 a.m. on the West Coast. PM. 7 p.m. on the West Coast. Pray for me. Because I'm never getting their little shotsies. Yeah. You can't live your life if they don't let you. And it's about control. Oh, I always wanted to retire to Thailand. Exactly. A lot of people think of Thailand, but then they forget about Cambodia. They are kind of different, though, a little bit. And people who really, really like retirees who like Thailand usually don't like Cambodia as a place to live. It's fine for doing a border run or a visa run, they call it, when your visa runs out and you just have to go out of the country and then come back in, kind of thing. That's a visa run. And people don't mind coming to Cambodia from Thailand for that. But when they think, oh, well, it's cheaper or the visa's easier or something, so it'll be easier for me to live in Cambodia, they come and they try, and they last like 3 to 6 months and they go back to Thailand. They don't like Cambodia. So, I mean, there's enough of a difference. Praying right now. Thank you, Chalet. Thank you so much. No shotsies for me either, Chalet. Amen, Grace. Yep. So, me neither. Nah. But so it'll be interesting. This job interview will be for a very high position, creative director at a marketing agency, and I was really, 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 really trying to avoid a full-time in an office job. I spent 2 years basically uh, in first for a year and a half with the my Times newspaper as a sub editor, and riding my motorcycle to the office every day and back. It was affecting my health. I wasn't eating right because of the hours that I had to keep. Um, I was making enough money to pay my rent and eat and be okay. Not get ahead, but be okay. Because I was having to spend a lot more extra money for like food delivery. To have them deliver me something to eat at the office and things like this. Uh, all my friends are afraid of me because I didn't get the jab. I say jab. I don't care. But I'm the only one who didn't get it. No, me too. I know people that were getting 3 and 4 shots, right? And they're all afraid of it. And then like some of them got it, some of them didn't. Whatever. Here in Cambodia, and and it's like what I don't do anything different because disease is always there. The flu is always there. This isn't any different. Well, except that it might have been engineered. Okay, but it's a flu. Okay, there's also do we forget about cholera or tuberculosis or hepatitis or whatever? I mean, we always have to wash our hands, before you, especially, after the bathroom and before you eat, right? You have to wash your hands and things. I mean, if I'm pushing buttons on elevators, if I'm holding rails on an escalator or stairs or anything, I mean, I've always thought about these things and always made sure I wash my hands after touching anything and not rub my eyes or something or lick my fingers, whatever, you know, go back and look at Fauci and what he says about all that stuff before. He didn't say all that stuff and then he did it again and then didn't. And oh yeah, I don't trust it. I mean, there's a lady named the Amazing Polly. I think I mentioned her before, and and she was doing some deep dives in the very very beginning of that, and it's called Gavi, right? GAVI, the Global Alliance something, right? Vaccine Initiative, something like that, and how they're all connected and how far they go back, and like Fauci, and then the Tedros guy that was, who was he, the head of the UN at the time? Is that who Tedros was? And he was from an African nation, and like he was involved in genocide. They were all involved, like with the AIDS stuff, and uh, Fauci and Gates, yeah, and Gates, yeah, and the least it's about the oh yeah, they all made so much money. I mean, they had the vaccines ready, and they had their patents on the vaccines and stuff like this. But it had to be declared. It had to be declared a pandemic in order to be able to manufacture them and sell them to the countries and everything, because all the vaccines were purchased by countries, right? So without having trials, it had to be declared a world pandemic in order for it to be able to be sold. Yeah, they basically want to kill us, if not by that, then with fear, for sure. Amazing Polly is good. I'm glad that you know of her. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch her on YouTube all the time, and now she still has her website, and there are some videos on her website, but I haven't really kept up with it. They don't love that God lives in us, no matter what they do. Really sucks to be them. All that sacrificing must get tedious, for sure. And now we can't trust the eggs. I haven't trusted eggs. I mentioned I raise chickens. They're trying to say they cause clots. No, they don't. Whatever they say, believe the opposite for sure. Don't expect them to start telling you the truth now. And all the adrenochrome drinking, absolutely, it's sickening. But commercial eggs, if they keep the chickens, and they're not free range, and they just keep them in the little cages, and they're under this stress to lay their eggs all the time, and that's all they're doing. That stress is a chemical, like cortisol and stuff like this, whatever, right? Stress is a chemical. That stress is in the egg. So when you eat the egg, you're eating that stress. Not to mention if there's antibiotics and hormones and everything. So I haven't been a fan of commercialized eggs since the 80s. Fear, future events appearing real. That's a nice acronym. No. Is it an acronym? When you spell things out? I don't know, but that's good. Yeah, we have to have reverse psychology. I know. Because they're putting it out there, but it's like projecting, right? When a narcissist or anybody projects on you, but they're the one. Well, that's all gaslighting is too. They're the ones that are doing it, and they're making you think that you're the one that's crazy. Because they're the one that's actually doing. So my ex-husband was like that. Like he would project on me what he was doing. I remember one time he came home and he goes, I think he was in the living room and I was in the kitchen and washing dishes or cooking dinner or something. And out of the blue, he goes, I wouldn't mind if you kissed other men. I stopped what I was doing. I walked and stood right in front of him, blocking him in the TV, right? I looked at him straight in the eyes and I said, "Who did you kiss?" And he was like, "Oh, how'd you figure it out?" Oh my gosh. Let's just call it a saying. Okay, yeah, the FEAR. Oh yes. It was so amazing to see all the people just following. Oh, during the big C. Shall we call it that? Yes, Grace. Oh. Exactly when they accused you of something, they are doing it. Exactly. I mean, it was so obvious to me, I wouldn't mind if you kissed another guy. I wouldn't mind. Oh goodness. Yeah. When they accuse you of something. Oh. Sorry about that. I got one of my kitties here, laying down, wants to be the center of attention. Did you guys see my community post where I posted a picture? I was trying to read my Kindle, and one of the cats came and sat up on my lap, right between me and my line of sight for the Kindle. Psychology 101. Exactly. I didn't even go to college. I hadn't then either. I've been to college. After my divorce, I went back to college. Yeah. I don't know. I guess if you think about people like that, they really have no idea how stupid they are, and so they think that everyone else is going to be stupid like them. What's dangerous are the ones that are really smart and have that same attitude, and they try to do the same stuff, but they're really smart. Then they become dangerous. You don't have to go to college to have intelligence. Albert Einstein didn't go either. Yeah, he was I think he worked in the patent office in Switzerland, but he was from Austria, I think. College indoctrinates the youth. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good that can come from college. Um, Having been now, I see really it's more about the process of getting through it than, more than the subject that you're learning, unless it's like you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something. Then a lot of your courses are really information that you need to build upon. Uh, but it's true too that a lot of people, they don't even end up getting a job in the field that their degree is for, but just the fact that they've gone through the process of getting a bachelor's degree. You have to do a certain amount of time management and things like that. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, I think. Unfortunately, professors have an agenda. A lot of them do, and that's dangerous. I like those that think outside the box. Absolutely. So long as your roots are strong. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Like for me, I have, talking about outside of the box, I have a Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies, a BIS, not a BA or a BS. Because I knew that nobody would really care as long as you got your degree, right? I was smart, and I was in my 30s already when I went to college. I wasn't like 18, 19, 20. And so I had discovered that there was this little BIS degree that was basically made for people who had kept changing their major, and they've been there for 10, 15 years, and the university wants to like say, okay, here's a degree, leave, but they don't have enough credits in any one major in order to get that degree. And so I figured, well, there's no film department, but if I take X number of courses in theater and X number of courses in broadcasting, then, we could call it a film, I could basically have a film degree, right? And not be there for 10 years. But so you're taking more than one discipline to create a degree that they don't even offer at the university, because it doesn't say I have a film degree, right? It says I have a Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies degree in communications. You have to look at, okay, wait. Yes, most of my friends went to college and then made more money as waitresses. Yeah, I've been a waitress. Yeah, those tips add up. Yes, you have to have it for them to even look at your applications. Another racket. Yes, it's a racket. True. I got my degrees, but fortunately in creative fields, which were more open. I'm not against getting it, just saying. No, absolutely, you're right, Shelley. And another thing that's a racket are the textbooks and stuff. And you got to get them at the university bookstore, from the university presses, and yeah, that's a whole nother subject you could get into, or the tuitions, they definitely want to keep some people out and let other people in. Basically, it says you can follow through. Exactly. That's the whole reason I went back, is because I was already working as a journalist, but I was very interested in, dealing with the fact that my ex-husband had got custody of the kids. If he was gonna, I mean, I still fought for them all the time, right? I mean, you're kind of split, right? On one hand, I'm like fighting for them. On the other hand, I'm like, well, I could be a world correspondent, right? For CNN or whatever, or Life magazine or whatever. And go be a journalist. And but the minimum requirement for any of those level of jobs was a bachelor's degree. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to get a bachelor's degree. You don't need a degree. It's a racket and an expensive one. Well, especially with jobs now, you know, the workforce now, it's not the same that it used to be. You know, and minimum wage is what, like $15 an hour, $18 an hour. Like work at McDonald's. I mean, I remember when minimum wage went up to $3.25 an hour. So I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that minimum wage is almost $20 an hour. Just, I don't get it. You were enrolled in the University of Iowa, but didn't go. Wanted to go into journalism. Oh my gosh. But wouldn't let me tell the truth anyway. Unfortunately, that is the case now. I don't know. I don't understand what they're teaching in journalism school now, because the way I see what comes out on the mainstream media is totally against every principle we were taught. You know, and even when I was editor, okay, because I said I was sub-editor of My Times, but like several years ago, I was actually the first editor. I was hired to launch the paper. And I had all of our journalists get together on one day, and we watched All the President's Men with Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. And I broke it down for them as well, you know, certain points about journalism and investigating a story and what it's like in the newsroom and things. They would have said, read the script. Just read the script, ma'am. There's nothing more to see here, ma'am. Just read the script. Don't flub your lines. Yeah. Well, it's obvious that the mainstream media gets their talking points every day, and it's not like, okay, there was an earthquake in Turkey. That's going to be the lead story on every news station, right? Because that's like a big event that happened. But otherwise, you know, it may not be some international or national story that's going to be your lead story. Maybe something local is like really important that happened that needs to be your lead story, right? So you can all pick different things to be the lead story, but no, they're all guided by the same talking points. I know it's ridiculous. Heck, we could be journalists on YouTube. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do they call it? Citizen journalism, I think. True that, Shelley. I do not trust any mainstream media, and every time I watch it, I get a Pfizer commercial. And then some man would probably try to make me do something. Yep. Oh, Amelia! Oh my gosh, it's late for you. What is it, like 1 or 2 a.m.? Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining. It's so nice. Andy had to go take his kittens to the vet. And so I don't know if we're still on, then we might still be on when he gets back. I'm pretty sure he's just dropping them off because they're to get spayed. You don't usually wait around for that to be done. 5 a.m. Oh my gosh. I can't believe New Zealand's that far ahead of me, because it's 11 o'clock p.m. right now. So it's six or 7 hours. Trips me out how mainstream media women have to wear sexy dresses, high heels, and false eyelashes. Yeah, they do all kind of look the same, don't they? What's up? What's up, Amelia? So how are the animals? Everybody's doing fine? Oh, was Pam on? She said, oh, that's so funny. Because she said that she was going to go live, but then she didn't because she saw that I was live. But then after a little while, she left. She said she's got to go, and so I guess she went to do her own live after all. That's fine though, you know, because there must have been a reason. There must have been something urgent, um, and then you know somebody needed to hear what she needed to say. I'm sure. Yeah, she was here. Well, she was here earlier, but on live, I think it was like 5 o'clock. I watched her. When I was done watching her for like an hour, then it was 5 p.m. for me. So I started my StreamYard as far as like to schedule, and I said, you know, that it would be like in 4 hours. That's how I remember the timing. That I would go on in 4 hours. Pam's premiere is waiting. A premiere. Because premieres are usually videos that you upload. Let me see if I can. I'm just checking. So there's my Ramble. No, I don't see anything right now. It's all right. I watched Pam 5 hours ago. Yeah, exactly. Yes, have a look. Live stream premiere. I see my Ramble. Oh, let me look in my notification. Esoteric Atlanta. T-Rev uploaded. Lionel Nation. Salty Cracker. Zap Girls live on the Murdoch trial. Zap Girl, Lionel Nation, and Harsh Reality. Confusion. Idaho 4 case confusion on Harsh Reality. Jason Burmis. Seriously, folks, it's one big joke to them. Yeah, that's about. No, I don't see any. I don't see anything about Pam. Muse News. Told you I would get delirious. Fruity burglars. Who the hell wears pantyhose and stilettos? Vixens. You know, speaking of pantyhose, I don't wear pantyhose over here. I don't know anybody that wears pantyhose in Cambodia. It's too hot for pantyhose. If I'm going like that, it's because there's a mosquito. But I've got the fan turned so they don't bite my feet. So there's still a little big. Yeah, so I got to check on what this Murdoch trial is about because I don't know. He was talking about the news lady. I know. Yeah, I guess they wear them, right? Pantyhose and stilettos. I don't even know if I can walk in high heels anymore. It's been so long since I've worn heels. Pantyhose were the 70s. Yeah. Well, in the 80s. You didn't go anywhere without pantyhose in the 80s. Ah, there you go. Shelley and I, we were of the same mind, but not anymore. Lordy be. The hairdos. Oh, the big hair. All right. Used to wrap the hair like this to make it all big. Yeah, my hair's done. Oh, I got my hair cut. I don't know if you noticed that it's shorter. I guess I should wash it. I'll have to wash it tomorrow morning and maybe blow dry it. See what I can, if I can do anything with it. But this, did I put mousse in this one? I think I washed my hair like 2 days ago, and I put mousse in it to see what would happen. I never know, like, with what I see, I never know which. Okay, I can't tell what I'm doing with my hands. I feel bad for them. For who? Okay, I saw this one woman struggling in a pair of high heels. She looked like Humpty Dumpty. Oh, it looks good. Everybody do the Humpty dance. Feel bad for them. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad. I have some, my dress shoes are, I don't know what you'd call them. Loafers. I like loafers. Extensions and wiglets. I never had extensions. I mean, I'd heard of them, but I'd never did them. The only one wanting to wear pantyhose is Don Lemon. It drives me insane having a weave. Yeah, I can't imagine. I saw a documentary once. I think there was a comedian like Chris Rock or something that did this documentary, and he really investigated about Black women's hair. Uh, and before I saw that, it had never. I didn't notice that like Black women were having straight hair instead of like Afro curly hair, you know, and I hadn't noticed it, and now I know why. It's these, and they gotta like, some of them is like you take a single one of your own hair and another, and you tie it on or something, and like you have to do that over your whole head or something. Like what? I, I don't know. I can't imagine. He really can't stand his co-host either, Don Lemon. Okay, I mean, we know he doesn't like the women, but he really doesn't like women. Your mom had a wiglet, some kind of like little wig, not a whole wig, but like just a piece that you add in. Is that a wiglet? I don't watch CNN, however, I do see clips. I'm not totally nuts. What is a wiglet? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I do know I've seen like these little like clip-on. You know that's not what they're called now, but Kamala has one. Well, see, she's got straight hair, right? She's got, but this hair comes from India. A hair bump. Yeah, so like you clip it on the back, and then it's like extra hair. Would that be right? I'll Google it. I'll see. Hopefully, I don't like. Oh, wiglet. No, these pictures are just weird. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it's, you don't cover your, yeah, clip on ones, strap ones, they're into all of them. Yeah. And so you can like put it on the top here instead of over all your hair. You just put it like here, and you're adding whatever extra hair. Beatles era. I actually had that kind of hairstyle. Well, I mean, I didn't do it every day. We were having the family pictures done, right, at Olin Mills. And so I went to the hairstylist and I said, I want my hair to look like this. And that's that big, so like I had bangs and then like a big poofy thing here, right, going back. And she just ratted my hair and made it like that. Which way does this go? This goes this. You think I'm crazy. This must be the opposite of a mirror, of what we see in a mirror. Good old Olin Mills, exactly. My baby pictures and growing up pictures every year were from Olin Mills, and so I carried on that tradition with my kids as well, and my family. So, but yeah, I had that poofy thing in the back, but just by the hairstylist with my own hair. She didn't like add any clip-ons or anything to do it. Oh, now Pam's live? Let me look. Let me hit refresh. Premiere. Oh, Tuxedo has a girlfriend. Oh, that's probably just a short. Tuxedo has a girlfriend. Nice. Yeah, so I'll see that later. Why does Pam keep going on when you're on? I don't think it's on purpose. I don't think so. I don't hold it against her. Mainstream is owned by Pfizer. Yeah, that's why they keep having all those. To each his own, but it seems like mainstream media doesn't have a choice. A pompadour. Well, that's what the guys were called, was a pompadour. For sure. And Friends. To each his own, but the mainstream doesn't have a choice. They don't anymore because they're all bought and paid for by Pfizer. She was. Well, it's been an hour since she was here. Surely you just can see. Go back, see when she said goodbye. Grace Chalet, Grace Chalet, Grace Chalet, Grace Chalet. There's Andy, Grace Chalet. But 10 o'clock. So she was here for an hour, from 9 to 10. She was there before, like she had jumped in the chat before. Cough medicine is like truth serum. Oh, I should like hit show, right? I could have been doing that. Sorry, the cough medicine is like truth serum. New comments. Oh, lovely kisses, kisses. Kissy, 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 kisses. You know, the French, they say bisou, bisou. That's the little kissy, kissy is bisou, bisou. So if you don't want to actually like kiss them for real, you can just go bisou, bisou. I'm surprised I still had some water left in there. We're all good. She's welcome here. Pam's welcome here anytime. I don't mind. I mean, I'm just guessing that, oh, I don't know, Chalet. Why do you do that to me? I know that's we in the end, which means I, right? But MAIS, I want to say Maze. I know that's not going to be right. It's probably May we? Is that supposed to be funny sounding like may we go to dinner? Oh, but of course. Oh, fun with French. Crazy language. But then for someone learning English, it's got to seem crazy too. Really. So many silent. I mean, I complain about the French silent letters, like Lao. You know that it's not Laos. That S is a silent S, and apparently the reason why they have these silent consonants are because they have all that masculine feminine stuff going on their words. And so, like, if they're, even though it's Lao, for example, because I know it has a silent S, but there's other words that have other silent consonants. So then if you need to like make it a plural, which you wouldn't of a country, but if you need to make the word a plural, then you need that S. And you need to know whether it's masculine or feminine. So that's why you have the silent letter on the end. That actually makes sense. But for those of us that don't speak French, we're just like, and we start pronouncing everything wrong. Oh, I pronounced it correctly. Yeah, because I've been exposed to it so much that I can make an educated guess. You know, it's a premiere. Pam's videos wouldn't load because of the VPN. Ah, but yes. Ah, literally is but west. But yes. That's but with a single T, not a double T. Yeah, we is yes, not I. Okay. Okay, 6 cents. Roses. Or you're just sending a rose, it must have been something like 6 cents. Or something like dead people. I don't know. What? I don't know. That's similar to Thai with 5 different ways to say a word in different meanings. Yes, except the reason Thai has different ways to say the word is because it's tonal. So you have the different tones, and Khmer is not tonal. However, every province, therefore, can have various accents or different ways to say something. So, for example, this special kind of skirt, I say Sam Pot with an M and an O, Sam Pot. Whereas some people will keep the M but change the O to a U, Sam Put, Sam Pot, Sam Put. And some people drop the M, Sa Put. So you've got Sam Pot, Sam Put, Sa Put. But it's not because it's tonal, it's just because of different provinces, different areas. And also, there used to be 4 different languages. You had the monk language and the king language, and then the common people, right? There were like the educated bourgeois, rich kind of people, and then the poor people, common people, right? They actually had a different language for all 4. And so now a lot of things have, so like Sampot and Saput might have been the common people and the bourgeois people, but it gets mixed up and lost that that's what it's from, right? Hope everyone's getting my sense of humor. Okay, wait. Let me go back. Correct. But it's basically saying, but of course, one of those language deals. Yes. Yeah. So it's not just a literal translation is, but yes, but the meaning would be, but of course. Okay. No, her saying Pam was doing a premiere not. Chalet, is that your Theraflu? Not live. Doing a premiere, not alive. Yeah, it was a premiere. Hope everyone gets my sense of humor. You can really get into trouble with the tone. Absolutely. Absolutely. For the Thai. Well, and Vietnamese, Thai, Chinese, they're all tonal like that. That's the problem with texting as well. People will take it one way and you're like, no, 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 no. Grace, I get you, Shelley, and so appreciate a good sense of humor. Yeah, me too. Yeah. We got the kitty here. Oh, stretching out the belly. Oh, the belly. Belly rub for the kitty kitty. So happy. Eyes are closed, all content. Phew, Grace. What a relief. uh, is Amelia still here? Or did you go to feed the animals? Hello, Amelia. Are you still here? I never did see an answer for how the animals are doing today. It's 5 a.m. It must be like time to start feeding them soon. Maybe she left and went to go feed the animals. Oh, still here. Yay. Yeah, what time do you have to start doing chores? And do you eat breakfast first? Or do you go do chores and then come back in and eat breakfast? I'm curious. Curious minds want to know. What was that a tagline for? Chalet, you remember? Curious minds want to know. Was that like Barbara Walters specials or something? Or was it a magazine? Was it a TV show? I guess it takes a nut to love a nut. That makes me think of Mounds and Almond Joy. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Inquiring minds want to know. Grace, you're right. But now, what was that from? Do we know? Do I need to Google it? Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, well, one calls it an adage. Who said inquiring minds want to know? The National Enquirer. Did anyone get Walter Cronkite? No. There was, Chalet. Yeah, the Enquirer. Okay. Deja Kitty is being a mountain goat, and I'm the mountain. She's climbing all over me, and she won't let me type. Oh my gosh. Amelia, did you see my community post of my cat sitting on me when I was trying to read the Kindle? I did a community post. And Walter Cronkite, I could, like, Barbara Walters, Walter Cronkite, yeah, all that. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, it was the National Enquirer. Inquiring mind. Oh, that's duh. Did we just get that? Did it take that long? Oh my God, it took that long. National Enquirer, inquiring minds want to know. I just feel so stupid right now. You mean my stupid people one? The stupid people? It's like, oh, it's dumb people. I see dumb people. They're everywhere, and they don't even know they're dumb. I love that meme. I've got that printed somewhere. Like, it's supposed to be like when you have an office cubicle and you put that up, printed it somewhere. No, you haven't seen the community post, but I'll have a look after here. Absolutely, it's so cute. The kitten. I mean, so I'm sitting in the recliner, and I've got my Kindle, and then the cat sat like right between me and the Kindle. E.F. Hutton. E.F. Hutton did what? What did? E.F. Hutton. That sounds familiar. Did he say it? E.F. Hutton. E.F. There he is, way down at the bottom. American financier and founder of E.F. Hutton and Company, one of the largest financial firms in the United States. What is he known for? In 1904, Hutton and his brother Franklin Laws Hutton founded the American stock brokerage firm E.F. Hutton and Company. Under their leadership, it became one of the most respected financial firms in the United States. For several decades, was the second largest brokerage firm in the United States. Why was he important? Oh, that's a different one. That's a James Hutton. Okay. So, inquiring minds want to know. He said it then. Okay. I didn't find that, but I'll believe you. When he talks, people listen. Ah. When he talks, people listen. E.F. Hutton. Yeah. Oh, there was a restaurant commercial and a classroom commercial. There's a lot of commercials. The E.F. Hutton slogan. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. Aha. We're cracking it tonight. Cracking the code. Hellert. 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 Trying to figure that one out, Chalet. Hellert. Kind of like hello. Hellert. I was raised on TV. Me too. Reruns. I told my mom. Oh, I think I was on live telling you guys, but my mom was sitting back in the recliner. That the Monkees. I thought that my dad was Michael Nesmith of the Monkees. I literally thought that was my dad. I went around telling my friends that was my dad, and that's why he wasn't around, because he was busy on tour with the Monkees. When he talks, people listen because inquiring minds want to know. Put them both together. Okay. The T was a typo. So just Heller. Heller. I don't know who that quote is from. Sorry. I just looked it up. E.F. Hutton was the Warren Buffett before Warren Buffett. Do you guys know Warren Buffett? Or is that outdated as well? Might be outdated. So Hellert. Hellert without the T's is Heller. Still, is that like hello? Or is that like hell no? Heller? Helen Keller? I don't know. Oh, goodness. Are we getting loopy? Amelia, I hope you haven't been up all this time. I hope you went to sleep and then you woke up. Don't know who Warren Buffett is either. Okay. Stock market. Like American stock market. And so he had a financing firm that did the stock market. And this was before, you got to remember, for E.F. Hutton, it was before people could buy their own stocks, like on the internet and stuff like that. You couldn't do that. You had to go to a registered stock brokerage firm to buy stocks, to buy or sell stocks. You could not do it as an individual. That was only opened up later, like in the 90s, I think. from that black guy that dresses up as a woman. Can't think of his name. Instead of saying hello, he says heller. Okay, I didn't know that. Is it Tyler Perry? Maybe. I'm delirious. So there you go. So anyway, yeah, E.F. Hutton. That's why it was like when he talks, everybody listens because they want to know what to buy, what to sell in stocks. And then the National Enquirer. I don't think he was involved with the National Enquirer, though. Anybody help me out? Okay, well, I'll Google search Heller and see if anything comes up. Hellerr. Oh, it's derived from hello and der, derr, used in irony to deliver both sarcasm and ridicule. The sound you automatically make when someone says something blah, 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 blah. Heller on TikTok. Oh, there's a hashtag Heller. Image is famous for Heller. I'm not seeing anything that shows a black guy in a dress. Rock Voodoo Project looks weird. Okay, now there's like, it's like nothing. Yeah, Tyler Perry made those movies dressed like an old lady. Oh, the old lady. I think you left. Oh, you did say old lady. Oh no, that's Grace. See, originally, Shelley, you said that black guy that dresses up as a woman did not make me think of dresses up like an old lady. Medea. Sorry, I'm about no help. I don't know who you guys are talking about. Yeah. If it's Tyler Perry, and who was that the guy's name? That wasn't his character. That was his real name, right? You had a brother too. Didn't? Oh no, I'm thinking of the Winans. They were brothers. Tyler Perry just made all his own movies. Medea is the grandmother lady, and she like Medea goes to church. Medea goes to coffee. I don't know, things like that. I had a friend of mine who was was an extra in those movies. She was living in Atlanta at the time. Steve Perry from Journey. There you go. When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, ooh, I wanna be there. Oh, I guess YouTube didn't like my singing. Oh, but Journey, they're from the Bay Area, and I love that song because every morning I rode a public bus to school, and from Milpitas to Fremont, and the bus went on the freeway along the foothills, and if I was there early, well, depending on the time of year, right? Because daylight savings time and all that. So if I was on the bus, like when I got on the bus, it was dark. And as I was on the foothills, on the road, on the foothills, looking across the bay towards San Francisco, and you've got the lights are on all the buildings, but then and so when it's dark, you see the lights on the skyscrapers and on the bridges and stuff, right? And then as the sun comes up, those lights go out, right? So he's talking about sunrise. As the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay. So I would think of that song because, they were really big. I went to high school from 1980 to 84, right? So like they were like at their peak, you know. Good music, but lagging got you tapping. Oh, rapping got me rapping. Okay, great tune. That's my favorite Journey tune. That one, probably because of that personal connection. You know, snap at Grace. Oh, good. Yeah, that was a great tune. And then it was really, you guys are gonna love this. My ex-husband. I could do a whole show on ex-husband stuff, I guess maybe. So he he said that our song was Journey's Faithfully, right? And then so he cheats on me and marries the woman he cheated with, right? But she doesn't know that was supposed to be our song. And then later, like my kids are telling me, like it comes on the radio or something, oh, that's Dad and Linda's song. Like, if she knew that he repurposed the song on her, she would have such a fit. Oh, goodness. Okay. Anyway, I think there's no chance of them watching this, so she's not going to find out from me talking about it. But that was hilarious. Yeah. My God. Love the one you're with. Yeah, that should be it. That should be his song. Couldn't even come up with an original. Exactly. If that tells you anything about who, sometimes the kids or whatever, I'll see a picture on Facebook or something, right? And I'm just like, I don't feel bitter or anything. I look at a picture of my ex-husband. I go, I am so glad I got away from that. No. My name's Miriam. Her name is Linda. But my friend not only married a first Dave and a second Dave, she married a third Dave, and it's a keeper. It's a key. She got it right. Third time's a charm. She got it right with the last one, But whew, lucky escape. Exactly. That's what I think. If I see a picture, if I happen to come across a picture of him now, that's exactly what I think. Lucky escape. Wouldn't want to accidentally say your name. I know. Oh. I think that's why she hated me so much, because I think he did. Because she hated me. Okay. In particular, among Mexicans, and especially Mexican Americans, there's always one in the family or in the crowd or in the group that's really short and really tiny, but is like the worst fighter, right? They're mean. You could have some really big person. They're not going to be mean like that little one, right? That's the one she was. And at first, everything was all honky-dory and stuff. And then she turned mean. She turned real mean. I got a restraining order against her. Not only did I get it once for 1 year, but I got it renewed for a second year because there was enough evidence of her violating, the first order, that I was able to get it for a second year. In different, yeah. I'm indifferent, at least towards them. Mighty dog, that's what she is. I also think of the Banty chicken or something, right? Isn't there a Banty hen or a Banty chicken? Oh, I know why I'm thinking of that, because Banty weight in boxing, they call it Banty weight. Maybe he was saying that she was no comparison to you. I don't know. But she hated me. They both hated me. But I think he was filling her with lies to get sympathy as well. You know, and I wasn't absolutely 100% perfect. I'll admit that. You know, but nothing that I did ever deserved what he dished out. Anyway, Banshee. I mean, that sounds like Banshee. But the hen, isn't it? It's not Banty weight. Oh, that doesn't even that had little red squiggly lines under it, like it's misspelled. Is it really? Is it Banshee weight? Banshee. Oh, an animal. Oh, ooh, but the word that you have, banshee, is an Urban Dictionary adjective used to describe something that is either disgusting, stupid, freaky, rude, or unnatural. Can also be used to insult or describe someone hideous. I like it. I just learned a new word, Grace. Thank you. Oh, bantam. Bantam. Thank you. Take the farmer girl. Yeah, and the wild banshee. That's what I thought maybe you were trying to spell, was banshee. A witch. Yeah, it's like so it's kind of a cross between a witch and a grim reaper. You know, it has the wailing screech. It's Irish, and it when you hear the banshee, it's coming to take a soul like the grim reaper would. Screaming banshee. Yeah, I think there was a band in the 80s called the Screaming Banshees as well, like punk rock or something. Head of a witch. You know, I never thought about it being just the head of a witch, but then that brings it right back to the Cambodian folklore of the app. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Banshee only head. No. Does a banshee have a body? Appearance. Physically, they appear as spectral elven women with wild flowing hair and long talon-like hands. Yeah. It says banshees have the unsettling ability to force their way into the bodies of living creatures, thus replacing the creature's spirits with their own. Interesting. Okay, so you guys can research that if you want. No body. Maybe that's where I got it. Oh, fancy. Yeah. Well, whenever I think of a banshee, I think of Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Yeah, the Cambodian thing is just a head and trail down. But there's a banshee in Darby O'Gill and the Little People, and there's an old man. Excuse me, an old man. And then there's a young couple that they're the love interest, right? His daughter ends up marrying the guy. The guy's a young Sean Connery. Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, one of my favorites. I've got a video cassette of it. If I can get my videos transferred into files. Yeah, that was a good movie. A lot of music, a lot of the Irish folklore is in there, including banshees. BRB. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I'll do a million. BRB, another friend has gone live. I'll just go say hello, leave a thumbs up, and come back. Hey, leave it on another tab. If you look at it on a tab, then you can just mute it, and then you can leave it running on mute so that so your friend gets the watch time. Okay, see you back in a minute. And then there are Comanche Indians who scalped. Ah, yeah. I mean, I'd heard it said that Indians learned scalping from the white man that was like would hire them as mercenaries, and then they had to they'd get paid by the head, so they had to scalp in order to prove that they killed someone and get the money for it. But I think there's plenty of evidence that they were scalping before the white men came, and even some cannibalism in some tribes. And then there's some in the West and that talk about giants. You know, that the giants would eat the Indians. They had to make sure they were red haired, right? Red hair. All the stuff about giants. They had that in their traditions. They went underground and lived in caves or something. But they were big enough to just like pick up a person and eat them. But I know the Mohawk is one of like 7 tribes. There's like Mohican, Mohawk, Iroquois. It's all the same upper New York New England area. And I think the 7 nations came together to form. I mean, well, there was a lot of different tribes. There were tribes, and they came together. I think under Mohawk Nation. I think they settled on the name Mohawk Nation. Now you got me interested in that. Mohawk Nation. The Mohawk people are the most easterly section of the Haudenosaunee or Iroquois Confederacy. See, Confederacy, they joined together. They are an Iroquoian speaking indigenous people of North America with communities in southeastern Canada and northern New York State, primarily around Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River. This is also where the bury the hatchet expression came from, because there were tribes that were fighting, and in the north of around Lake Champlain or something, I think it's called, they had a ceremony where they took a hatchet and they actually buried it, and that's where we get that expression. What is the Mohawk Nation known as? Oh, it was a 6-nation confederacy. 6 nations. What are the Mohawk Nation's clans? Well, it says the Peacemaker created a new clan system with 9 clans: turtle, bear, wolf, heron, hawk, snipe, beaver, deer, and eagle. And I'm descended from the turtle clan. That's why I have studied studied a lot about the Mohawks. Oh, but I didn't know this. Although they are involved in many professions, contemporary Mohawk people may be best known for their work on high steel construction projects, including the Empire State Building and the George Washington Bridge, both in New York City. There you go. Learn something new every day. But in the Grace, have you ever been to, is it Oatman, Arizona, where there was that tribe of Indians that had that excuse me, that one girl that was adopted into well, they massacred her family on a wagon train, and her and her sister, I think, were survivors, but her for sure. And she got the tattoo on her chin because that was the tribal thing, and she kind of became part of the tribe. And then her brother had survived and like looked for her until he found her. Oh, Amelia, that was fast. Yeah, you've been there. Okay. Yeah. And then there's this Indian massacre called the Mormon Meadow Massacre because I lived in Utah. So I knew about this. And there is speculation that it was actually some of the Mormon settlers that were dressed up like Indians instead of it being, okay, we're using the term Indians, Native Americans, or whatever, right? If you don't know which tribe, if you know the tribe, you can call it Mohawks or Comanches or Navajos, Native Americans that they dressed up and then attacked a wagon train that was coming through, and they killed everybody that was older than the age of 3 or something like that, and then they just kept all the babies. She was kidnapped and tattooed on her face. Yep. The Mormon Massacre. Just been reading about that. Yeah, I lived right near that. I know that meadow that happened in. Indians. You know, and I think didn't the football team or whatever, the Washington Redskins, didn't they have to change their name? And yet there's historical documents of when they chose the name Redskins. The Native Americans were actually proud that they were chosen to be a mascot, and they were excited and proud to be part of it. And now it's all like, oh no, we got to cancel that. Only the woke change. uh, I mean, oh wait, hide current comment. Is there a comment being hid? Somebody not see their comment? Hide current comment. Oh, does that mean the one that I have up on the screen? Let me click on this and see. Oh, it just meant the one that I had on the screen. You grew up in Oklahoma, home of the Red Man. And that was your mascot, the Indians. And they were called Indians. Your mascot was Indians, not the Native Americans, I'm guessing. The All Blacks, yep. And the Haka, is it Haka? I don't want to like, I'm not mocking it. I'm like respecting it. You know, I went to the premiere of Whale Rider in Los Angeles, and that's the first time I ever saw it, and it was live. They brought real New Zealand Maori people, and they did it on the stage, and it is very fierce but very powerful. And then in the gift bags they had the New Zealand green, is it just called, it's not called jade, it's called greenstone, I think, right? You couldn't call a sports team that in America. Oh, the All Blacks. That's true. See, I'm familiar with it now because I've been in Cambodia for 16 years, and there's a lot of people from New Zealand. So they want to go, watch. It's rugby, though, I believe, right? And so I'm desensitized to it, but Yeah. So there's a rugby team called the All Blacks. Yeah. One blue-haired white girl said it was racist. Ah, the Indian, like your school mascot. So then now they had to change. Now they had to change it. Now I want to have blue hair, but not a bright blue. A really, really, really deep royal blue. Really, I mean, almost black, right? Where the light hits it, you see it's blue. You know, I mean, a really dark blue. Myself, but I'm sure you're probably talking more brighter blue, social justice warrior type person. Yep. Shelly says, yep. Yeah. Yeah. 49ers, Panthers, Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. Is anyone going to complain about that? You know the type. I do. I do. Luckily, I don't have to. I don't think many of them travel to Cambodia. If they do, they work in what I call the NGO world. You know, because the whole NGO thing, uh, NGO being non-governmental organization, or what they call charities in every place outside of America calls them NGOs, and then they tend to get a lot of that, like we want to change the world type, you know, and some of them are very well meaning, you know, and just get the purple shampoo. Is there purple shampoo? Is that going to turn my hair blue if it's purple shampoo? I think there is like a purple shampoo that you use after you've had your hair dyed to keep the color lasting, right? And mine, I don't know why. It's like my hair is really dark here, and then it's a lighter brown. I don't know. It's weird. Oh shoot! Now I did it again. Which way? This way. Exactly, Chalet. This is my problem. You have to have your hair platinum first. You can't have yellow because then your hair will turn green. So, yes, but I have found at least two Cambodians that have hair darker than mine that have had the proper color, which means they did the process right. You said it would be a process. So that means they did it correctly. Otherwise, they would have green hair, right? It wouldn't be that nice midnight dark blue. One just had it like in the back of her hair, and the other one had her whole hair like that. And so I went up to them and I said, like, who did your hair? Oh, it was my sister. My sister did it. I said, really? Are you serious? Because she did it right. I mean, look at it. Would she be willing to do mine? You know. Grace says her hair is a natural white blonde, but the purple shampoo makes it more platinum. Ah, I see. I actually, back in the day, I mean, I think it was still the 80s. My kids were still young. Maybe it was just around 90, but I think the show Beverly Hills 90210, like the original one, was on. There was this one girl that kind of had this punky, spiky hair that was like black and white, right? So I went to the hairdresser and I'm like, I want my hair to be like that. I want it like black and white, all mixed up. And she showed me these like hair colors. Well, like which one of these do you want or whatever? And they were all like old lady gray hairs. I'm like, I don't want gray hair. What are you talking about? Huh? You know, if she hadn't shown me that and just done it, that's exactly what it needed to be, right? But that scared me. So I like, she showed me like the different colors of blonde, and I picked one of those or whatever. Takes out the brass. Yep. I've always heard it is called toner. You have the bleaching, and then you have the toner, and then you do your color. I'm not a hairdresser, but I play one on TV. I play one on YouTube. Ah. Pam's always calling the YouTube uh, TV. Mama, you want to be on TV? Gotta love Remy. Remy in tuxedo. I don't even do anything these days, but I have tried it before. Yeah. So, well, if I get this new job, give me a couple months to settle with the new income, and that'll be one of the things that I do. National television, national TV. Is that what she says? You want to be on the TV? And I say that with love. I'm not mocking. We love you, and we love to hear you when you say that. It's what makes you unique. So, and then whenever it's I swear, Remy knows when she's closing. He either something she's saying or something she's doing, he totally picks up on it, and he or she, I think Remy's a she. I always said mama. She starts thumping that tail and barking. Oh my goodness. True though, she's on my TV, not watching on a computer. See, I'm watching on my computer screen. I don't have it hooked up to the TV. I could though, but I don't. And so it is. So you are on TV because that's what you're watching it on. Slick. Yeah. National TV. See there. Actually, I don't see it. But I believe you. Oh, goodness. Well, we're coming up on 3 hours. So I should probably go to bed and get a good night. It's almost midnight for me. Get a good night's sleep before my interview tomorrow. Take a shower, do my hair, do real makeup. My phone is a TV. I don't use it as a phone. I don't like talking to people on phones. The only time my phone rings is if it's my son calling and begging for money. Interview. Oh, Amelia, you missed it. Okay. So in 10 hours, at 10, it's midnight for me now, and at 10 a.m. So in 10 hours, I will be having a job interview. And I've been really conflicted about it, honestly, because it will change everything. And it could be changing everything for the better. But it could be jumping out of the frying pan into the fire or something, right? And so I've just been really kind of hesitant about even thinking about it until the last week or so. I mean, I told my mom when my mom was here, I told her about it, and I gave her the job description that they sent me, and I said, this is what they're, and I didn't apply for anything. A headhunter contacted me and asked if I was interested in the job. And so they've been negotiating, and I can always quit. I could. But I have a real problem in a sense. I have a problem with commitment in that I don't let go of things. If I commit to it, I stick with it, right? In a detrimental way sometimes. So I don't like to commit to something. And plus, I'm 56, and I don't have any savings, and I need to start looking at having some security. Why am I hesitant? Because They want someone to work full time. So like when they I hate that. Okay. When the headhunter first contacted me, I said, well, do you think you could convince them that if I work part time, they will get the same productivity, I guarantee, and they would save half the money, right? Because I would come in as creative director. I would come in the morning, have a meeting with the team. Where is everybody? What are they doing? Make sure that they're on track. And then I don't need to micromanage them. They have the day to like do what they need to do to get done. I spend the rest of my hours working on the concepts, the creative concepts that will be presenting to clients and things like this. And I can do all that in the morning and then be done and then go home, right? And so they're like, no, well, what would it take to have you work full time? So I shot a number back, and then they came back and they asked me some more questions. Well, can you explain more about your education and everything? And so I did, and now they're like, okay, they want to meet you. So I don't know if there's other people that they're interviewing as well for this position. I'm going to assume that there are. But like I said, I don't even know if they ever announced this as a job opening or not. And then I saw this morning, I woke up after having gone to the dentist, and I just felt like I needed to treat myself to like some pancakes and nice breakfast. So I went to this one restaurant, and it turned out that someone that I knew that I hadn't seen in a long time was in there. And after we were both done eating, and I was like waving on my way out, they invited me to sit down and have another cup of coffee and chit chat. And they know the owners of this agency, this marketing agency, and they said they're really good people to work for and stuff. Because that's another thing. I'm like, is there going to be office drama? What if there's somebody in the company already that wants this position, and then they bring me in from the outside, and then there's this jealousy and resentment and office politics and stuff? I don't want to get in the middle of all that kind of, and yes, the work-life balance changes when you're older, and time is valuable. Absolutely. And the location would be like an hour commute, which in the Bay Area or in Los Angeles, people have spent 2 or 3 hours commuting, but that's my time. I know you're loyal, but you got to live your life. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a problem with commitment, not so much as not committing, but in committing too much. Don't get too much stress though. Yeah, I don't want to have stress. Maybe after you get your foot in the door, you can make that a part-time deal. Yeah, negotiate what you need. Exactly. And so I threw them a number that, would be worth my while to be there full time. And they're still interested after that. So maybe they're looking to negotiate that down a bit. That's possible. But so it would change my lifestyle also, because I've been working part-time and freelance. And so that kind of, it allows for laziness. So it could be the universe kind of shaking me up and saying, no, I need you to be more, not dependable, but direct, dependable, like focused, like determined. I think it's a D word. Anyway, yeah, might be shaking me up to be less lazy. Can you ask for a trial period, see if it's a good fit on both sides? Yeah, no, so, okay, this is a good question. Let me tell you what's the normal, what's the norm in Cambodia. There's a 3-month probation period. That's standard here. That's standard, 3-month probation period. But what a lot of Cambodian companies will do is hire the foreigner and have this really nice, sweet deal, right? But because they have one particular project that they need done, or they're setting up a company and they need someone who can come in and get everything up and running, right? So then the minute you get to your 3-month probation, they say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, you didn't pass your probation. Even though you did everything perfectly, but they want to replace you with a Cambodian that they're going to pay less, right? And that's not on me, that's on them. That they're going to pay a fraction, right, to someone else that doesn't have the experience necessarily to keep things running, to keep things ongoing in such a short amount of time, right? It's very typical that this happens, and I had it happen to me once at a job that they hired me for public relations, and the HR, they came to me and they're like, they got their heads up. I'm sorry, but we're not going. You didn't pass your probation, and they were practically crying. I said, look, I understand the position you're in. I understand. Just give me a letter in writing that says that I did a wonderful job, and plus they gave me a great severance. They gave me a full month extra salary severance and stuff like this. But yeah, that kind of happened. And so I'm actually with that in mind, because what I need is secure. If they want someone, if they really want someone long term, they're not going to have to go through the process again. That they've got someone who's committed to the company and they're willing to treat me right, because to do a job, right? So if they're going to do their side, then I want to be for you and build up, right? I don't know if it looks a little shaky. And so I'm thinking about asking if we could do a 1-month probation period, because I need to know. I mean, that'll be enough. You'll know in 1 month if I can do what I'm supposed to do, and because it would disrupt my life so much. I wouldn't say it that way to them in the interview. I'm saying it to you, because like I'm thinking of little things like the dogs. The cleaner comes in the morning, but she's afraid of one of the dogs, even though he's okay, but she's afraid. So I put that dog on the chain. At 11 o'clock, she leaves. I take him off the chain. He would have to be on the chain all day. Now, that kind of defeats the purpose of, if she's cleaning the dog poop, because they have their area that if he's on the chain, he can't go to that area where the dog poop is, because she needs to clean it, right? So if it's long enough for him all day, so he can poop there during the day while I'm gone, then she can't clean it, right? You see what I'm saying? So I'm feels like if using headhunters, they will expect you to jump through some hoops. Yes, 3-month probation here, all sorts of dodgy wranglings. Dedicated. Maybe that's the word. I don't think that's the word I was looking for. I think I made notes of this word. Story notes. Almost not have been in here. I thought it's crime circus. I don't know. Employment contracts are negotiable. Yeah, so it's like, so basically I need to know if I need to get a new, if this job is going to work out, right? If they offer it to me, and if it's going to work out, I need to move to a better. This is a great place, but I need to move to a better place where I can have a better dog run situation. Okay. Um, and I've looked here in the area where I live, and just down the street from me, there is a property available at a price that would be perfect for me. And the property would be perfect, the price would be perfect. Wait for if I have a 3-month probation and then they kick me to the curb, if I get the house before the 3 months, then I'm screwed to not have the job and have to make that rent. But if I wait 3 months until the probation's over, then the house might not be there, right? And even now it's like they would have to wait a couple months, right? I mean, because I wouldn't spend my first. Well, we're just having an interview tomorrow. They might not have me start until March 1st, right? They might not have me start this month if they were to give me the job, right? So it the earlier, and then you work a month first, and then you get, so April 1st would be the first time I have money, right? Used to work 14-hour days. I'd rather be broke. Exactly. This wouldn't be 14 hours, so that's good. It should be manageable. Another thing is transportation. I have my motorcycle and I ride my motorcycle, but that would not be suitable for my health to ride an hour there and an hour back every day. It would break down my health. So that means I'd have to be in a car taxi, which is about $5 each way. So that's $10 a day or $200 a month of an expense I don't have right now. So see, that salary would have to cover that expense, would have to cover the higher rent. Decisions. Exactly. That's why I need your prayers, tomorrow as I go to this interview, that whatever I'm up for whatever God wants in my life. If God wants me to work full time, even though that's not my first choice, but if that's what He's got for me so that I can become financially stable, I'll do it. I'll rise to the occasion and I'll do it. I'm able to do it. I'll do it. But if He needs me to trust Him a little bit more on the freelance side, well, then I'll do that. So I'm open, but I definitely need 2 hours travel daily is a lot of extra downtime. Yeah. If I'm in the car and not driving it, then there's potential. Even if I'm just reading a book or something, I'm not fighting the traffic. I'm doing something for myself, right? Maybe reading a newspaper or something, because it would be nice if we had a newspaper every day, because you have to keep up on what's going on in the business and what ads are being placed and things like that. Right now, I don't have to keep up on it, but if you're working for a marketing agency, you have to keep up. So anyway, I could use that time for what I could do a live in the car. If the data signal is clear the whole way. I don't know. I could do a recorded video every day when what's the worst case scenario if it doesn't work out? Yeah, exactly. I'm okay. I'm okay. Kind of on the edge of struggling, right? But it needs, yeah. So maybe it's time. And so I'm open to that. I was feeling a lot more resistant a month ago, and 3 weeks ago, and even 2 weeks ago. And like when I told my mom about it, and my mom was with me when she was like talking to me, and I'm like, Mom, I just got this. They want an interview, you know? Um, and so when I first got that announcement, I was like, oh my God, this could like really happen in a scary way. You know, my life would change, you know? And change is scary sometimes, you know, even if it's going to be a good change, there's still like an adjustment. And I would have to adjust a lot of different things. Like I said, with the, you know, because of the dogs, you know, I don't even know how I'm going to do it. Maybe I have to get somebody else and not her, you know, during this time, you know, uh, to clean. That would be an option, right? Instead of her cleaning, get someone else that's going to do it. So anyway, uh, so I'll wrap it up. But thank you. I guess maybe I should do a live tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Today's Wednesday. I could do a live tomorrow. It's the recovery meeting evening, but that's usually done by 8:30. Weird things happening on my computer. If you're on a 3-month contract, you can tell them you don't want the job after 3 months too. Exactly. Oh, I know. And then I would have 3 months salary to put in my savings, right? Um, that would carry me on through the rest of the year. You know? At my subsistence level, it would like carry me on for the rest of the year. Anyway, I was saying that this recovery group gets done about 8:30, so I would be home shortly after, you know, by 9 or shortly after 9, so I could jump on a live and let you guys know how it went. I can do that. I should actually, I'll write it down in my schedule so I don't forget that I'm supposed to do that. Yeah. I mean, so now I'm getting kind of excited. I called the rental agency or the housing agency that for this property I mentioned, and I went inside and stuff because I'm like, okay, if this is what I really want, if this job is what I really want, and I get it, then I need to like visualize my new life. And so I wanted to see the inside of the house. He sent me some pictures, and I was like, "Yeah, that's great. Can I see can you show me?" Uh, and yeah, it would be really good. 3 months work sounds good. Have a great day, everybody. Got to go. Okay, Chalet. See you. Yes, I'm gonna get some good sleep. Be rested. I'm gonna lay out. I'm gonna look through my clothes tonight before I go to bed, so that in the morning I don't have to think about it. I might change my mind anyway. You know, and so I'll keep you guys posted. But even if I get this job, you know, I'm still gonna like go lives with you whenever I can. You know. Okay. So peace and love for everybody, and you have a good evening, day, whatever it is for you. And I'll touch base with you again just under 24 hours from now. Bye bye. Love to you.